The skeletonized watch is a watch that is very hard to execute, and there's a few different reasons why. If you don't finish it well, if you don't do the skeletonization well, it ends up looking cheap. It ends up looking cheesy, and also there's the pairing of a case and a partial dial to that movement. If you don't do those things right, it ends up looking cheap. It ends up looking cheesy. And a lot of brands have tried to do this, and especially brands in that affordable range, it's really hard to do. Even brands who charge thousands upon thousands of dollars for their see-through watches, for their skeletonized watches, they end up looking cheap and cheesy. Today, we're going to take a look at a brand that think they have done a good job at making a skeletonized watch and making it affordable. Let's flip the camera and take a look. So the skeletonized watch is one of those things that I think every collector goes through at one point or another. They want to have a skeletonized watch in their collection, especially early on when you're getting into automatic movements and mechanical movements. You really get into the look of a movement. You want to see it on the front of the dial as well as the back, and usually the only way that you get to do that is with a skeletonized movement, because there is no dial, and essentially the dial is the movement, and that's the reason why it looks cool, especially when you first start collecting. And then as you grow as a collector, for some reason or another, you end up not liking them. It's like sort of gravitating towards open hearts when you first start collecting, because it shows you that it's a mechanical movement on the front. And then as you learn more about movements and stuff like that, you kind of shy away from things like that. For myself, that's definitely the case. So today I have a watch that is, I think, executed pretty well, especially considering the price. This is called HEDONE, and I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that well. And HEDONE is something more. It says it right there on the box, so that gives you a little bit of a hint. And it has actually a pretty nice box. So there's like an orange lacquer little line that goes around the bottom of the box. It's made out of wood. It's a pretty heavy box, and that orange carries through the inside of the box, and it's signed. You get a little credit card, sort of warranty card. And then, of course, here is the watch. So this is all wound up and ready to go, and it comes on a leather strap. The leather strap is beautiful on this watch. So that was one of the first things that I noticed. Obviously, the dial is the second thing that I noticed, or lack of dial. But you could see that they do put a little bit of dial. So I was saying in the intro, the sort of balance between case, dial, and exposed movement is really important when you're looking at a watch like this. And you need to have some dial. So there is a minute track that goes around the perimeter of the movement, and then there are applied indices. Now, I'm not sure if there's lume in any of this, so we'll do a lume shot at the end just to check it out. Now, this brand claims that they're using tools that are made in Switzerland and Germany, and then they're manufacturing this movement in either Hong Kong or China, and they're doing it all by hand. So there are videos on their YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to their website and the Kickstarter for this watch down below, but I'll also put a link to their YouTube channel where you can see them hand finishing these movements, and they also hand skeletonize these movements as well. So they are polishing the edges. They are doing a lot to these movements to make them a little bit more special, and I gotta say, they do a very good job. This is all hand done, and they even PVD coat some of the other elements in the movement to a rose gold color. And you also have gold. They make other versions where they darken the movement. They make other versions where the entire, or most of the movement is actually in that rose gold tone. And then you have blued screws. Now, I believe those are chemically blued at this price, but they look really good. And you can see that the back of the movement also completely skeletonized. They did a very good job on this. The barrel is completely skeletonized, and you can see the hairspring in there, and you can see it when you're winding, which is pretty cool. Very loud winding on here. So if you're in an elevator and you want to wind your watch, everyone will know that you have a mechanical watch, because this is very, very loud. Now, the first thing that I did notice, besides the strap, which I thought was really nice, it's sort of a bluish gray strap. It's like a raw leather. It's signed. You have a very nice buckle on here. That's signed as well. It's actually finished in two different finishings. So you have polishing and brushing. You have the logo on there. It's a really nice buckle, really nice strap, big onion crown. The other thing I noticed here is that it's almost illegible. And that's because you have silver hands on a silver background. Those silver hands are also skeletonized, so it's really hard to see them in most lighting. So I did reach out to them about that, and they said that they're changing the hands on their models. And essentially, I think for this model only, which does have the silver background, so it's silver on silver, you're getting blued hands now instead of the silver hands. Again, I'm not sure if those are heat blued, and if those are, I will put it down in the description below. I would assume that they are not, but they might be, because they are doing a lot of work on these movements. And I will do close-ups of the movement so you could see what I am talking about, because there are chamfered edges here. They are polishing those edges. They're bluing some of the screws and doing a lot of other work to the movement to make it look a little bit more appealing. And I think they're doing a really good job. It's a swan neck regulator on here, I believe, and just a good looking movement overall and well executed. Now, the size on here, it is on the bigger size. You do get a screwed in case back, by the way, and I think it's only like 50 meters of water resistance, something like that, which is, pretty decent for a skeletonized watch. This is a larger watch because you're getting a large movement in here, so it's 42 millimeters. So it's not huge, but it is on the larger side because you're getting, basically, I think this is a Chinese version of the Unitas 6497, 6498. I don't remember, whichever one has the central seconds and not the seconds at the 9 o'clock. So essentially that's what this is. And then it's thick also. So it's not thin when compared to, a lot of other hand wound movement watches out there, but it's not incredibly thick at 11.1 millimeters thick. Of course, you're getting a sapphire crystal. I believe sapphire crystal on front and back. And obviously you could see, there is a large area to actually view the movement. So there is good real estate to view the movement if you're into that. The crown is big. You get a big crown on here of 7.4, and then the lug to lug, which is a true lug to lug. You don't get molded ends or anything like that. 53.1. So it's going to wear large on a wrist because it is a large watch because of its dimensions. 53 millimeters is a large wingspan, and then of course a little bit on the thicker side, and then of course it's 42 millimeters. So it will wear larger, probably closer to a 43 millimeter watch because there's very little bezel as well. The movement itself, you just have the brand name right there. The hands are beautiful, by the way. They almost look like Grand Seiko hands that they've skeletonized, or sort of an homage to Grand Seiko hands, so Grand Seiko style hands. Of course, the quality is in the price range. So the price on this watch is $637 at the Kickstarter. I think they're going to actually go up to around $1,200 when they're at retail. Now, do I think it's worth $1,200? Probably not. Do I think it's worth the $637? Absolutely. This is really well executed for that price. And if you look at those videos that I mentioned, they are hand finishing this. So it is a hand finished watch. For that price, I think that's really good. Obviously, a lot of machinery is doing a lot of the finishing as well, but a lot of the edges and a lot of the finishes that you're seeing here are done by hand. Very quickly, let me throw it on my wrist, and then we will do a loom shot. I don't know if there is loom on here, so let's check that out first. No, I don't believe there are any loomed indices here. There is sort of a black lacquer on the indices. I think that is just a black lacquer and not black loom. So unfortunately, no loom here. That would have been kind of cool to put loom on a skeletonized watch. I'm not sure if I've actually seen that before. Maybe the loom would glow within the movement. That would actually be nice. Anyway, very quickly, today I have on the Moon Swatch. I've been wearing this non-stop for days, and since I got it basically, and I wanted to do a full term or full review for you guys. You know, it has its issues, and I'm going to point those out. I did a video. It should have aired already, so I will put a link to it above if you want to check that out and see what's going on with it. I also was able to snag a mission to the moon, so I will be doing a video on that very soon. I have not worn that one yet. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, but we'll get back to that at a later date. So here it is, and I have to say, when you're catching it in certain light from certain angles, and again, I'll put up some different angles and different lighting, video and pictures of that, it looks pretty damn good. The movement looks really good. You have these sort of, I guess, teardrop or fang lugs on here, so it's a very classic looking case. Everything is polished on the case, everything is finished very nicely. Just a good looking watch on my wrist. $637 is what they're asking for it at the Kickstarter. Like I said, at that price, I definitely can understand it. Anything more expensive, maybe not, but this at this price is really very nice. They did a very good job. You have that sort of, I don't know what you would call it, but there's lines in the movement. That's not laid on top of the movement. That's actually part of the movement. I've seen skeletonized watches where it's just a fake skeletonized watch where they just put a plaque on top of it. No, they've done this, and this is all done by hand, which I think looks good. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Obviously, like I said, no loom shot. Unfortunately, I wish there was, but tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? Like I said, do you agree with me about skeletonized watches? What do you think? How did they execute this? Do you think they did a good job? Tell me down in the description and down in the comments, excuse me. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. It helps me bring you these videos on a regular basis, and you know, I love making these videos, and I hope you guys enjoy them. So, you know, if you hit that bell icon so you're notified of when I release, it does help the channel. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.